Good afternoon, Tusker families, and thank you so much for joining us. My name is Mr. Josh. I'm the Director of Academic Programs here at Basis International School, Bangkok, and I'm joined today by our fantastic Mandarin language team. I'll give them a moment to introduce themselves, starting with our returning Mandarin teacher, Dr. Wu.
Good afternoon, dear parents. My name is Wu. My name is Wei, and this is my third year to work at Basis. I'm very happy to see you again, and welcome to join our Mandarin course.
I would also like to introduce our brand new Mandarin teacher, Miss Lin.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is I have been teaching Chinese for 8 years. This is my first year at Basis International School. I'm so glad to meet you all here today. Thank you.
While we're facing this situation where we're stuck at home and distanced, it is so important to us here at Basis that every program we offer maintains the exact same standards and quality that you come to expect from our on-campus programs. As such, our Mandarin language team has been hard at work tailoring a brand new Mandarin program specifically for the challenges of online learning. I would like to give them the opportunity today to share with you a little bit about their vision and about what the 2021-2022 Mandarin program is going to look like. So let's begin. First of all, guys, can you tell us a little bit about what an online Mandarin language course is going to look like this year?
Okay, this year it is a full 40 minutes plus, just like the other subject. There will be 20 minutes lifetime and 20 minutes interactive activities.
And could you tell us a little bit about what those interactive activities might look like?
Well, the student will need to engage or collaborate with activities by using their formative apps or website that we provide. For sure, our teacher will tend to make the games more fun for the students. The activity will not only help the student to review the things that they learned from the previous 20 minutes, but also it will also capture the students who are not so understand the contents, and they can get some support from the activities. Also, the students who are very stronger in the language, they can get some enrichment material from it. Yeah, thank you.
And can you please tell us, what are we doing to ensure our online Mandarin offering is exactly as effective and valuable as our on-campus courses are?
So first of all, the learning time doesn't change. It's still a full course. It's 40 minutes. So actually, even in the on-site learning period, we still use some multimedia to support our learning. So actually, online learning makes it possible for us to supply more material to our students, so they have more chances to expose to the Chinese culture. And after the class, we will supply some extra package for our students. So it enables our students to practice more and review more in their spare time according to their learning process, like this. So
another one of the changes that we're making to our Mandarin program this year is we're introducing a brand new advanced level third year course for our grade 3 students. Can you explain to us why it's so important for introducing this new course?
The reason we are making changes is because they have already learned Chinese at Basis for 2 years. And so it will be better for us to provide them a new level, not only for the grade 3 students, but also for the advanced level learner in the role of high primary. So we can better lead them according to their language proficiency.
Awesome. And let's look for a moment, not only at this year, but down the road into the future. What do you see as the long-term goal of our Mandarin language program?
yeah, as you can see in the slide, we will focus on the Chinese proficiency or HSK-4. You can see here the Chinese HSK examination. We have 6 different levels. we expect our students they can achieve HSK-4. As you can see, the vocabulary requirements here, it requires 1,200 vocabularies for the HSK-4. The reason why we focus on the HSK-4 is because, can you go to the next page, please? Yeah, if we can achieve HSK-4, the students, they can apply to the top 50 universities in China. For example, the Tsinghua University here, it ranks the third in Asia, 17 in the world. So our students can apply to this university if they have the HSK-4 certificate. There are many universities for them to choose. That means the students have more options to when they apply to different universities.
And how many years of studying Mandarin language does it take to get ready for these HSK or AP level exams? And why do you think it's so important that our students who are interested enroll in the Mandarin language program now?
So actually, we have different short goals for our students. Can you go to the next page, please? So you can see here, we help our students after 1 year learning, they can achieve YCT1. And the second year, they can achieve YCT2. And in grade 12, they can achieve HSK 4 to 5. As you know, the HSK 4 to 5 is equivalent to the AP examination, I mean the difficulty levels. So actually our students, they can also take the AP if you want to go to the US to learn further. So I think we use about 9 to 12 years, we can achieve the long-term goal for the HSK 4 to 5 and also AP. And use 1 or 2 years to achieve the short goals, just like a YCT1 or HSK 1, 2, 3, 4, like this. Yeah.
And how about when it comes to language learning ability? Is there any advantage for starting students at a younger grade level?
The basis curriculum is actually our spiral curriculum, so it will it's a logical progression from simple to complicated. We have a holistic curriculum, so that's why we encourage the younger students to enroll in the Mandarin program as soon as possible. And besides, it also takes ages for the students to accumulate the HSK required vocabulary in order for them to pass their test. So I really strongly recommend them to enroll in our Mandarin programs now.
And I think for the language learners, we start at the early age, the earlier the better, so they have more chance to achieve as a native speakers to achieve a high proficiency. So I strongly suggest our students to enroll this program as early as possible.
Now that you've heard a little bit about what Mandarin will look like this year and in the years moving forward, I would like to open the floor up to parent questions. Any parent who would like to ask a question is invited to do so in the chat in the Zoom meeting, and we will field the questions right here. All right, Dr. Wei is going to take a moment to explain a couple things that set our Mandarin course apart from Mandarin courses in other international schools in Bangkok.
Yeah, now I will share some information about our Chinese course. It's a very special course and it's very unique. So I have a question for you, Mr. George. So for the Mandarin learning, which part do you think is the most difficult for you?
Oh, for me? Well, you have to learn characters, right? And so
Yes,
that forms the basic structure of learning Mandarin, because the character is not only about memorizing a sound, but also about a meaning.
That's right. Actually, for the most foreign students, they consider Chinese character is the most difficult for them. And actually, the original Chinese character, they are quite similar to the stick figures. For example, you can conclude the meaning directly once you see the characters. Now let's have a try. Can you guess what are the meanings here? Have a try.
Just have a guess. I'm going to say character number 3 means lightning.
It's like lightning here, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Almost. So actually, this is the simplified characters. The original one, you can see the meanings directly. And now you can see it's very hard to conclude the meanings. So if we can help our students to build the link between the form and the meaning and pronunciation together, it will help our students to get the characters very, very fast. For example, I give you some clue. Can you try to guess what does it mean?
Whoa, there was lighting there.
So you can see, yeah, this is a kite. If you want to fly a kite, definitely we need the wind, right? This is the raining, and this is the cloud, and this is the snow. So you can see after I've given you some clue, you can get the meanings of the characters very quickly, right? So this is our strategy to teach characters. Now let's have one more.
Yeah, can I actually interrupt one moment,
Yeah.
Dr. Wei, because we do have a couple parent questions coming in.
Sure.
So actually, can you stop sharing your screen so we're back up nice and big? At the top. There we go. All right. So we have a question coming in. How do I know which Mandarin class or which Mandarin level my child will be enrolled into? Is there an entry assessment, or does it depend on teachers' will? How are we going to do that?
Yeah, we are going to evaluate our students, and we are going to settle them into different classes according to their proficiency. We have three methodologies. The first one, that is observation. The first week we are going to observe all the students for 1 week. The two teachers will put all the students the same, for example, grade 1 to grade 3 together. We are going to observe their proficiency. We are going to have some participation and some activity to cooperate with each other to find out their proficiency. And the second one, we are going to have a test. Yeah, it's an entrance test. We are going to use the YCT1 test for our grade 1 to 3. So we can easily find their proficiency accurately according to their test papers result. And what's more, we are also have another way to find out the students' learning background. We are going to make a survey from the parents to know how many years the students have already been learning the Chinese. So we use these three methodology to find out their proficiency. Then we are going to set them into the most appropriate class for them.
Great. We have another question, this one more for me, saying, since this is a revamped program, is there an opportunity for a trial lesson before parents commit to the full year fee? On our end, it is very important that we quickly establish exactly how many students we have enrolled for each grade level section, because that will allow us to open the number of courses necessary to fill our students' demand. So we don't plan right now to have a trial lesson, but we do want to have all of the interested applicants enrolled by Friday at 3 p.m. Because that way, when we start our courses on Monday, we know exactly how many courses we need and exactly what levels we're going to need to open. So that would be why the deadline for enrollment is on Friday. One final question, and this is actually a very interesting question. My son has been enrolled for 2 years, but does not feel like he's really getting anywhere. It may be because he doesn't see the importance of Chinese the way that the parents might view as being important. How can we build the students' interest in Chinese language to make them motivated to progress further?
So to answer this question, I would like to continue my presentation just now. I think for students, most of them, they consider Chinese as the most difficult subject of all. So as you can see the characters here, some of them, for example, when they exposed to a short paragraph like this, they're very headache. Oh, what does it mean? Can you help Mr. Josh what does it mean? Definitely for the new learners, it's very difficult. But we still use the same strategy. For example, I'll give you some clue. You can see here, it's much easier. So you can see the house, and you can see somebody. So you can conclude, actually, short paragraph, it's about the family. This is my house, this is my family, and this is my grandfather. He has a long beard, and this is my grandma. My dad shifts every day. My younger brother, he loves the Chinese Kung Fu, and my younger sister, she loves the gym. So in this strategy, I think most of our students, they are very interested in. And we will have more, for example, this one, we are going to have some videos for our students student watch it. So through the characters, the picture, and the short videos, for example, this one, you can have a look. So this is the mouse. The mouse loves eating the vegetables. Then if you have a general idea, what does it mean? Okay, it's a mouse. And after this section, we are going to give some characters like this to ask our student what does it mean. So you can get an idea. Oh, it's a mouse. The mouse loves eating the vegetable. And you can also know how to read it. For example, here I have a pronunciation. Actually, you can click it. So our students will know the meaning, the pronunciation, and also know how to write it. So it makes the characters very easily to, to get it. I think it's not so difficult for our students. Since they are interested in the Chinese character, all the whole course will be much easier for them. Then besides the Chinese character, we also have some other strategy. For example, we also use some Chinese culture in our daily learning. Let me show you something here. For example, we have the tangram, the paper folding and cutting. So it means our teaching is not only based on the textbook or the worksheet. We have more activity for our students to practice, and we have more chance to expose to the Chinese culture. It will be much more interesting. I think for young learners, they love this very much. And we also can combine our learning together with our different festivals. For example, this is our Chinese New Year celebration. You can see the tangram, the paper cutting, and also some decoration related to the Chinese New Year. So I think through this way, the students will be much more interested in them to, just repeat something or just write something on a white paper. It will be much more interesting. I think the students will be more concentrated on their learning, and we can improve a lot.
Awesome. And I want to direct this related question to Ms. Lin as well, so our new parents can kind of get to know you a little bit. So the question is, we learned from a different school, but she's forgotten a big part in Chinese. First of all, how are you going to be assessed? Just kind of going over that again to know what the correct placement class would be. And then also, how will she be motivated?
Okay, so for this question, I think at the beginning, we already have our task for all the students, so we can know their proficiency level. And after that, we can tailor their curriculums. The syllabus for the student, to customize their learning material, the learning contents for them, so they can have better. They can transit to basis in a more smooth way.
Awesome. And how about, what strategies do you use, Ms. Lin, to get the students really interested and motivated in Chinese language?
Okay, so for me, I like to start my Chinese teaching from listening and speaking, because I believe when the student, they have enough input so that they can have output. So after that, I will guide them to the reading and the writing parts. And what we do through this process is finally, all the students, I will lead all the students to apply their Chinese in the real world. Only in this way, only when they feel connected in the real world. So they will love to use the language. As a teacher, I also can provide them like a lot of like bunch of authentic material for them to for example, like how does Chinese students in China, how they think, how they live, how to make friends with them. So only in this way, when they feel connected, when they feel like they are living in a real world, so they can learn better. That's
Awesome.
all.
We had a request from a parent, Dr. Wei. Could we show a slide that has the grade levels and the proficiency levels again? So I think the HSK levels and how they correlate to what grade the student is in and how many years it takes to get there. And let's talk about that for a moment. This one. Yeah, and I think also if you go up a little bit, 2 slides up, I think that's
one, right?
yeah. I believe this is kind of where we're looking, and we can kind of do the both. So Let me move this with my blocking. There we go. All right, so you can see that our Bisbee Mandarin students who start in grade 1 pick up on average of 80 characters. Would you say that's about correct?
Yeah, it's correct.
Okay, and then grades 2 and 3, you're doubling that, and that already qualifies you to the first HSK level exam, HSK-1, right? But our goal, of course, is not to start there. Our goal for this program is to make our students eligible for entrance into universities in China or in America or elsewhere abroad throughout the world. And so the base level test that we're really aiming for is HSK-4. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's correct.
So if we want our students to take and succeed on the HSK-4 exam, which is the same level as the AP American exam, how many years of study is it going to take for them to get to that level?
It takes on average about 9 to 10 years. So that's the reason why we suggest our students can join this course as early as possible. As you know, actually every day we have 40 minutes to learn the Mandarin course. So up to 9 to 10 years, it's easily for them to get about 1,200 vocabularies. Otherwise, maybe the learning procedures will be much tight for our students.
Great. We will stay on the line here if we have any other questions from our parents in the final minutes. As we're wrapping up, do either of you have any final thoughts to share with our BASIS families?
Yes, I think, first of all, the learning time is changed. As Muslin just shared, we are going to have 40 minutes. So besides our teacher-led time, we also have some other package for our students to prepare and to practice more. For example, I'm going to share more about our package. So besides the characters here, we also have the Chinese culture and our extra package for our students. For example, this is the last previous students. You can see the calligraphy here and also some Chinese traditional art. So, and besides this, we are going to have some extra package for our students. Here it is. So we are going to give some materials to our students after school to review and to practice. So you can see this is the very hungry caterpillar. Students, they can listen to you can see the audio here. They can listen to it. They can also to retell the story here. So we are going to have lots of material like this, and we have some materials. It's a fact-based dialogues. You can listen to the audio first and to guess what weather is it today, and you can also make a dialogue like this, and you can check your answers. So it enables our students have more real life dialogues, so they can practice more. And for example, you can also make a international trip according to the weather. If you want to go to another country, to check how the weather over there today. So you can see we have more materials and we have more chance as opposed to the Chinese culture and to use the language into life directly. So
what you're saying is, despite the fact that we're online and we might expect that to pose a challenge, actually, for the Mandarin language course, there are opportunities in that, correct?
Exactly.
For more multimedia engagement, more interaction, and really being able to dive into Chinese culture on top of the language.
Yes.
All right. I'm just going to check to see if we have any more questions. So this is a question more kind of specific to one student. So I'll address that individually. I think it's time to wrap up. Do you have any final comments, Ms. Lin, before we go?
Yes, I think learning Mandarin is actually not an official language in Thailand. So we need to help the student to have the community to learn this kind of language, and BASIS is exactly the community that you are looking for. Here, all the students can learn together, they can communicate together, they can grow together, and come to join us.
Yeah, the same. I have I have one more slide to share with you. As you know, in the daily life, in the daily teaching, we can decorate our classroom to get the learning atmosphere. But actually, in the online learning, we can also do it. For example, we can do the visual classroom to decorate the classroom like this. The student can also find the Chinese culture and Chinese materials very easily. And for example, we can do the material like this, the visual classroom, according to different topics to make it more interesting. So I also want to say to all the students, welcome to join us. You will get more chance to expose to the Chinese culture and to experience the charm of Chinese culture.
All right. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us today. I hope that has answered some of your questions. As a reminder, we will be accepting applications for the Chinese language program until Friday at 3 p.m. You can send those applications to me. I'm Mr. Josh. My email is j.levinson@basis.ac.th. I think each of you has gotten numerous emails from me for the past couple of weeks, so you should be able to find my email address very easily. So we'll be accepting those applications until Friday at 3 p.m. Mandarin courses will start on Monday morning. We will send a schedule to all enrolled students, sharing with you those course times and our plan for admissions to certain levels. So how we're going to be evaluating your students, and then what level they will be enrolled in, level 1, level 2, or level 3. Have a wonderful evening, and I will see you all very shortly. Bye-bye.
See you on Monday.
See you on Monday.